Give me the money.
Stay calm. Now in this scenario, I hand him the money. However, he turns around, points the gun at me again, so I take the weapon away from him. I still tell him to stay calm. I hand him the money. He takes it. As he repoints the gun, I move my body out of the possible line of the gun firing. I control the weapon, not his arm. If I just control his arm, he can repoint the weapon at me. This way, he does not have a chance to repoint the weapon. Okay? If his hammer would be cocked, I could even stick my finger in between the hammer, so you cannot fire the gun this way. Now at this point, I will twist the gun, yank it away from him. That would have been it.
Give me the money.
This technique is called the 1-inch punch. We call it that because you're able to hit from a very close range, yet still generate a lot of force. What I'm doing is I'm using a multiple chain movement to generate power in my punch, basically utilizing the entire body. My wrist is involved when I punch. My elbow is involved when I punch. My shoulder joint is involved. My spine is involved. And of course, when I step in, I will use my legs. So if I combine all the force of these joints, I can generate this force. Now the advantage that you have being able to generate force from a very close distance is obvious. Oftentimes in a fight, I don't have the range to swing back, cock back my arm and hit the opponent. I only have limited space most of the time to move. So a Wing Chun fighter practitioner is still able to punch someone even if they're closing in very tightly. This next exercise that you will see is called blindfolded chi sao. Chi sao is a reflex training that is a very unique signature to the Wing Chun system. In a fight, things happen very quickly, so to rely on the vision most of the time is not possible. If an opponent moves in on you and attacks you, you will wind up in a close range. The Wing Chun system spends a lot of time practicing in this close range, developing reflexes against an opponent who is stronger, possibly faster than you. Wing Chun is a realistic self-defense system that was invented in China by a woman about 300 years ago. This woman was a nun. She was a fighting nun. Her name was En Mui. And she taught the system to a girl, and the system was named after this girl. The girl's name was Yim Wing Chun, and it was passed on from generation to generation after that. Wing Chun is a modern and a traditional style at the same time, and it's basically a scientific approach to fighting. So science evolves, and with science, and the involvement of science, also the Wing Chun system has evolved. So what was done 300 years ago is not the same thing that we're doing today. Of course, a lot of the elements, the forms, were always done, the chi sao training. However, we adapted the system. We pay a lot of attention to physical fitness, to training right, training sequences that make sense for the person, and not lose sight, though, that it's still a system for everybody. The center line is a conceptual approach for you in a fight that is very important in the Wing Chun system. What we have in a fighting situation is a trunk that we want to protect. So what we're doing with our trunk is we're basically dividing the trunk in half with two lines. We're getting a point in the center, approximately where the solar plexus is. And from this point out, I draw a straight line forward. Now what we do in Wing Chun, we position our arms along this line so that we can defend our trunk from the top of the head to the bottom of the groin at the same speed. So if I position my arms in the center, I can move my hand up, down, left, and right at the same speed. At the same time, all vital organs are in the trunk, so I protect these vital organs with my arms, and at the same time when I attack the opponent, attack these vital organs on the opponent. Also, when I move forward along the center line, my arms form a wedge-like shape, always protecting everything that's in this area. We don't focus on techniques as much because if you're in a stress situation, you're not going to remember them. However, if you train under a concept, it becomes second nature for you to move in this concept. So the first thing that we teach our students is, if the way is clear, go forward, which means if an opponent attacks us and has an opening for us, we will take it. So for example, if Per comes towards me and he's open, I will just go in and continually strike him. Okay? That, of course, is the ideal case. So I cannot always assume that it is going to happen that way. So in case Per is striking and he is more covered, we get into the second concept, which is, if the way is obstructed, stick to the opponent. So if he comes in again, please, this might happen. Now, I cannot hit him. However, I feel where he is. And in relationship to his arm, for example, later I know again where his neck or head would be or his body would be. Also, once I have contact, we can condition our body to move so that we basically don't hit ourselves. Because if he would hit me now, this would happen. So we can teach our body to control this space. I cannot control what's outside of this. I don't know how strong he is. I don't know how fast he is. I don't know what type of aggression he brings to the table. But once I have contact, I feel what his intentions are. So this leads us to the third concept. If the incoming force is stronger, so for example, if he steps in, I give way. Okay? So later, for example, I could have the first concept on the other side again and then continue to attack. So if I give way and he's stronger, this doesn't mean that I stop the attack. However, to stay in an example with this one arm, so you get the last concept, if he retreats, that's number 4, I will follow him. So if he pulls his hand back, I will just shoot in again. And this closes a circle. So the first concept, if the way is clear, move forward. And the last concept, if he retreats, follow him, closes the cycle again. I trained in different styles. I did some taekwondo, I did kickboxing, I competed in kickboxing. However, I was always looking for something. I was looking for the most realistic self-defense system. I actually saw a demonstration on a tape by our world chief instructor, Sifu Emin Bostepe, and I immediately knew that is the system that I wanted to learn.
I hope you found your style. Visit www.comparestyles.com to find out more about these martial artists and their styles. And hey, be careful out there.